I have chosen Avatar, the movie with the blue creatures, and my main task, my task is to argue why it's a fantasy movie. And I will start by telling which world, if it's a secondary or parallel world. The characteristics of a parallel world is a world that is a world we can relate to, and there is a fictive world as well. You often enter the fictive world through a portal, like a closet or like a portal. Um, and The secondary world's characteristics is that it takes place in the future, and that it's a world that doesn't exist yet, or just doesn't, or will never exist. Um, I I think it's that the Avatar, the Avatar the movie is a secondary world because it takes place in the future, and that we can't relate to the world they are living in right now. Also, another sign of why Avatar is a fantasy movie is because there are medieval traits in it. The inhabitants fight with bows, spears, and swords, and they live like medieval times. The character, there's always a hero and a bandit, or a hero or a bad guy. In this case, like a protagonist versus an antagonist. And in this case, the protagonist is Jake Sully, who fights against the antagonist, who are the humans. The hero or the protagonist always has a helper, and the helper is the Na'vi princess. She trains him. She learns how to ride. She learns how to fight with sword, weapon, and how to be a Navy, how to think as an inhabitant. And of course, he has the whole Navian people to help him as well. But the main helper in this movie is the Navy princess. Every fantasy movie also has magical inventory, and in this case, it's the Tree of Souls, which connects the Na'vi with the ancestors through the hair. They set it to whatever they wish to connect with, and then it's strangle, and they're able to connect with them through their mind, I think. And another magical inventory or magical object is the home tree where the Na'vis lives, where it's a giant tree. Magical creatures in the movie are mountain banshees. It's those flying creatures where the inhabitants they ride on just for travel or when they're in fight. And the Mak'Tau, which is the big red, kind of like a drake, but it's not because it doesn't shoot fire. But it's a big red which their leader rides on, which is Jake Sully. The main conflict in the movie is between the humans. The humans they wish to mine a mineral called unobtainium, which is worth a lot, and therefore they are able to make a lot of money, or to make a lot of profit out of it if they are able to mine it. But to mine it, they have to destroy the avatars or the inhabitants' home, and the inhabitants don't want to. They don't want that to happen, so they fight against it and try to defend their homes. And that's kind of the main conflict, that the humans want to make a lot of money, and the Na'vis won't let that happen because it's their home and they will die if they don't defend it. The point of no return is when Jake Sully decides to fight for the Na'vis or for the avatars, because he turns against his own race and he won't be able to come back and be a part of them anymore. And the quest is to defend the Avatar's home against the humans. It's the main quest, and of course it has a happy ending, where the Avatars are able to fight back the humans and defend their own homes. So they're able to survive, and Jake Sully ends up being one of the Avatars. He transforms his body into an avatar. So those characteristics, that's what do a fantasy movie.